In this Pecha Kucha, I will show you how the gender binary, as the primary social construct of gender, is the root of non-binary discrimination, how going against the social norms of male and female can result in hatred, prejudice and condemnation. There is a kind of gender domination weaving through the fabric of our reality as a socially constructed structure exists. I will illustrate the power in its language, how it is culturally specific, how its discourse and narratives have strength, and how it works to restrict. Social constructionists say that humans do not see the world how it really is. Instead, they view and make sense of people and things from the language that they make. This constructed world isn't static, but fluid throughout time and space. Culture gives structure to the reality that they create. Gender, it's understood and viewed just like this too. Primarily, humans organise this in a dichotomy, a branch split into two. Known as the gender binary, where your sex and gender have to match and is called cis, it cannot change or shift. Your gender identity constructed just like this. From the moment that your winky is seen on the scan, you'll probably be treated just like a little man. Research shows that parents treat you differently as soon as they know, setting the scene for where your life will go. If you're told you are a girl, get ready for pink, you will perform your given gender as society shows you what to think. But some people are non-binary. They identify with not being entirely male or female. Some feel they are neither gender or somewhere in between. It's an umbrella term. Some say genderqueer, fluid or diverse. They've had to construct a brand new language just so they can be seen. So many think gender, it's a spectrum, and science is starting to agree, with some psychologists theorising this is what gender could be. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows for non-binary folk. A third experience crimes of hate with suicidal ideation at a much higher rate in non-binary communities than for their cisgender mates. Psychologists say that discourses are categories of meaning that are constructed from the evidence people extract. They can describe a person and also have productive power as they influence how people act. Here I will describe discourses enmeshed in the binary construct that maintain prejudice against the genderqueer. The discourse of personality or disposition is used to make sense of someone behaving in a non-binary way. Perhaps they change their clothing, bind their breast or have surgery to feel okay. People attribute this behaviour to personality traits that are learned or innate, rather than accepting non-binary people are what they say. Research says attitudes towards non-binary people may be their inner phase or just confused, that it is their personality that produces their behaviour, not that their binary reality is skewed, viewing gender diverse actions as originating from disposition when the truth is gender is a spectrum and the gender binary, it's screwed. Discourses of personhood produce ideas of what normal is. Forecourt says people govern each other because of their desire to conform to social norms. With the gender binary as the primary construct, I think the norms are very clear. Be a man or woman, do not be genderqueer. Recent research says that individuals who strongly identify with gender norms are more likely to be against gender binary reforms, illustrating how the discourse of personality has productive power. With passports in the UK to non-binary recently denied, could it be that the power of personhood really thrives? Language is constructed to describe how reality is seen. This term non-binary finally came into existence because some people let go of resistance, except the millions who shared this meme. But all words are made up, including ones more widely scribed, but it seems some words are more real than others depending on the reality you subscribe. Words have gravity, they shape reality and form family, brother, sister, husband, wife, language entwined within the binary. You can be a king or a queen, but nothing in between. This gender binary language is the primary in the world, represents a gender dichotomy, erasing non-binary identity. The vibe of deconstructing the constructed language of the gender binary is tough. Discrimination in the form of misgendering non-binary people is rough. Having adverse effects on mental health, research shows misgendering happens every day, with a half of Americans feeling uncomfortable saying they. Power structures maintain the social norms of binary gender. Just 18 out of 195 countries recognise non-binary individuals in their laws. For the rest, it's just men and women who can legally exist. Globally, non-binary individuals take to the street to fight their cause. Mainstream media presents some positive narratives of the gender diverse. In contrast, social media upholds social norms and sings a darker song. Some narratives reflect in research people view non-binary as wrong. The two narratives flowing side by side, showing gender constructs, may be a changing tide. The construction of gender is culturally specific. Many countries have celebrated a third gender and more for thousands of years. I'll show a handful of them here. These cultures celebrate and even revere the genderqueer, their own construct of gender being way beyond the binary, leaving room for a diverse and rich history of gender finery. We have in no particular order Two-Spirit of American Indians, the Mahu of Hawaii, the Hirjas of India who represent the deity of Shiva. These are just a few I can fit into this small scope, showing it's possible to live outside the gender binary, giving all non-binary individuals hope. Colonisation of many countries by the Western narratives of gender binary extinguished gender diversity back in the day, showing historical specificity and the gender binary as a framework for prejudice. They came back when the invaders left and their own culturally constructed gender systems reconstructed, and I think they'll stay.